Hello, welcome. Welcome to all you beautiful souls already in the chat. Thank you for posting your questions and already getting the energy going for this next hour and a bit, maybe longer together today. And I really mean it. Welcome to all of you. It's so nice to, of course, I wish I could see your faces. Luna Moon, Blue Nile, Pragya, Ishi, Well-Tempered Claire, Andrew, hello, welcome. Welcome to all of you. Jonathan, aloha. Julia Wiseman, hello. I have had a very quiet morning. I was on Jonathan, and then I just decided to go inward. And one of the things that has really been coming up for me, I've been very, very busy. Some of you know that I've been teaching a lot of classes and my work has been really busy, and I've decided to just spend more time on my own sadhana, on my own practice. And I enjoyed the time so much this morning just to be quieter and to be a lot more reflective. And I feel that, you know, if any of you are feeling depleted in any way, one of the very best things you can do for yourself is just to move inward, move inside, and to really enjoy the experience of connection. And if it's challenging for you to, you know, and I'm not talking about sitting in meditation. It could be reading a sacred book, some words of wisdom. It could be journaling, a little bit of quiet activity, really anything, but just to move inward and to get away from social media, to get away from your work, and just really be. It's so special. So I am going to start today with a group reading, and I'm going to use a couple of the decks I shared in my last video when I was talking about winter decks. And though it's not winter yet, it just feels it's kind of a rainy, dark day here on the West Coast. So yeah, so I'm going to pull in a couple of these decks that feel a little more moody. I'm going to use the Anike. I'm going to pull a couple cards from that, and I'm also going to pull a card from the Tarot of Reflections by Celia Melville. And I'm not in a rush today, so I hopefully will get to, you know, at least 12 questions or so. I do keep track. I do review my videos and look at the questions that you asked, and it's really interesting, you know, like some days I do 10, some days I do a lot more. I think the most in one live was 17 readings. It's a lot, and I don't like to shortchange any of you. So yeah. So one of my prayers already that I've put out there is that these messages really connect to a special place for you, and that you feel the connection with the divine as I do, and that though the message might not be what you want to hear, it's what you need to hear. It's what will help you the most at this point in time. All right, so that is the Oracle of Reflections. Well, let's just do the card from that. I'll go to see if I can split the camera. All right. Such a beautiful deck to shuffle. All right, so here's your, ooh, look at this card. This is a really interesting deck. I'll put it, sorry, it's going to take me a second just to find my way with this one. This looks very much like an inner child experience. The key word is fear, but you know, doesn't it look like, we'll see what happens with the oracle card, I mean, with the tarot cards, but to me, it looks like a child. Like the child is a little bit lost. Maybe today's readings are going to focus on that kind of inner child work. You know, that I'm sure I've shared kind of my strategy for going to connect with my little girl. And by my little girl, I mean my inner child. And there's two things that there's actually quite a few things that I've discovered. And I have released since. One is that I was never allowed to get angry as a child. One was that it wasn't okay to be alone and process emotions. So this arose in the funeral of my father, and I was dragged into the crowd of everybody, and it was necessary to be with everybody. And I found that a lot of the time in my childhood, it was being alone wasn't okay. And so part of my connection with my little girl, and there's other things as well too, but those two things. So what I do is if I'm doing that work, those two issues have been resolved, but the next time something else arises, I go into a reflective state and I start to have a conversation with my inner child. And I talk to her. I talk to her as if I was right there, and me, the adult, has a conversation with her and begins to comfort her and let her and just discuss whatever it is that arises. It's a really beautiful kind of journey. I love that kind of work. Anyway, long story for this card here, but that's what that reminds me of. You know, it reminds me of the vulnerability you felt when you were a child. Hey, Malory. Anna, hello. Sure, I'll give you a reading today. Georgia, hello. Okay. Ooh. I say ooh, the cards they kind of stuck together and did this really kind of interesting split. So that's the Queen of Swords. Winter, definitely a winter energy. And what I see right there, I'm actually looking at the camera. It's really cool because I can look at the screen and see this. It's almost like she's protecting her. That Queen of Swords is protecting that inner child. And maybe that Queen of Swords is, you know, that's your adult Queen of Swords, protecting the vulnerability of the child who is so afraid. And so I just feel a really strong message of protection here. And I would encourage you to move inward. And then the other card feels like, isn't that interesting? So we kind of have winter and summer, like darkness and light. And that this lost, fearful, vulnerable child is completely protected and surrounded by maternal love. Maternal love, which may not be not necessarily your mother, but you as an embodiment of the divine feminine have that ability to nurture and to comfort and to heal that inner vulnerability. And that perfect balance of the winter and the summer, the dark and the light, that's so beautiful. Really beautiful. Yeah. I'm just going to... So let me know what you think about that. Hey, Joseph. All right, so I'm going to go up and I'm going to start the questions for today. And I know Well-Tempered Claire is first in the queue. And I have a few different banners that I'm going to be putting up today. I've been editing my website. And so the tarot courses are all up for well, not all of them. Some of them are up for 2021, as well as I've got a small group now that I'm doing the course called Yogic Practices to I can't remember what the course is called. Yogic practices to help with your intuition. And I've started a new, I put up a date for a new group. It's just such a lovely course. And, you know, I love to connect the spirituality with this practice of healing. And so if you're interested in that and working with your own intuition, you might want to book that in for January. Okay. So I'm going to allow my attention to move to Well-Tempered Claire, whose name is Andrew. What should I be teaching? I'm going to stay with the Anna K. Andrew. What should Andrew be teaching? What should Andrew be teaching? For those of you that have this deck, this is the version that Anna sells herself through her website. They're smaller. Pentacles, Andrew. Lots of pentacles. Andrew, have you thought about anything in relation to children? It's just going to take me a second to find my way with the camera today, where I've put the lens. It's really interesting. There's a really kind of deep connection here. Like, this night is so reflective. This little girl is so reflective. And it's almost like this night is this little girl looking out and dreaming and imagining, both looking to the stars, both looking to the sky. And then we have this gathering in the center. I wonder if you should be teaching astrology. I wonder if you should be teaching, you know, I'm just looking where they're looking at the artwork quite literally. It feels, you know, if it's not astrology, it's like philosophy. It's something deep and something meaningful. It's not something. I'm going to have to open a second screen here so I can keep up with your comments. I think you were writing a book or something like that. And so when I saw this Six of Cups come up, I was thinking, well, maybe you should be teaching children. Like, if you were going into education, just let me get another window open here so I can see your feedback. And And then I was thinking, well, maybe he should be teaching creative writing to children or something like that. That's where I'm really like I'm whatever you're teaching people like poetry. You know, you're teaching people to reflect deeply. That's what you're teaching. And I want to kind of look at those 2 pentacle cards there. So it feels practical. It feels very grounded. So maybe not something so esoteric as it is very tangible. So maybe it is poetry, it's literature, it's something like that, but it's something where people are able to connect to a very, you know, a truth within them. And I'm just really touched by the way that knight and that little girl are looking to the sky, looking to the stars. So that's what I'm getting there. Oh, Luna Moon, you're new. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Alrighty, let's just see who's next in the queue here. So nice to see you guys chatting with one another. And Julia's already good evening. Right, you're in the UK, so it is evening. Stock up on the vitamins. And Andrew recommends elderberry and echinacea. Okay, I'm just scrolling down to get to the next question. Oh, and Blue Nile's talking about 3 hours reading about Buddhism this morning. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful time for turning inward. Dhammapada. Oh, that's what you're reading. Thank you, Pragya. Okay. And so, you know, please forgive me if I miss anybody. So, oh, I'm looking at Jonathan. Thanks, Jonathan. Okay, so I'll go with Malory, and then I'll go back to Pragya's question. Okay. Where I currently am on my spiritual journey. Where am I on my current? Where are you? Where are you? That's a really interesting question. Where are you on your spiritual journey? Let's pull a reflection card. That seems like a pretty deep question. Thanks for your understanding, Pragya. All right, so Malory, where is Malory on her journey? Ooh, this is an interesting card. Look at this, Malory. It's like there's a break in the line. This is a little child. This is a kite. Maybe this is why you're asking this question. Maybe you feel like there's been a disconnection. The English keyword is break. It's a rupture in French. Is that how you're feeling? Are you feeling like there's been some kind of a disconnection, a break in the line, so to speak? And so the question is, so let's think about the word break quite literally. You know, I was talking about me giving myself the gift of going and spending many hours reading sacred texts and chanting and being with mantra and my practice, much more time than I normally would. I mean, I would never take 3 hours and disappear to my room later in the morning. So maybe this break is quite literally a need for a break. So let's kind of see what happens here with the where. Okay, so that makes sense, doesn't it, Mallory? I don't know if you read tarot, but that would make sense that the Three of Wands would be here. It's like this is a time where you need to be perhaps reconsidering or looking in another direction. Maybe this is time to shift gears, time to shift courses. And so that's where you are. You're at this crossroads. You're at this crossroads. This is such a lovely, love the pages and the aces in this deck. So that's the Page of Cups. And I just want you to kind of see what she's doing. She's not moving anywhere. She's sitting. She's in reflection. There's a coolness to the energy. She's listening to her heart. There seems to be a conversation between this Three of Wands and this Page of Cups. And then the Hanged Man. So where you are is at a pause. Where you are is at a pause. This is a time for you to be listening to your heart. This is not a time for new contracts, new connections. It's not a time for starting something up. This is a time for turning inward. That's where you are. And that's what you need to embrace. And that's where you need to stay for a while and to be okay with that. So I hope that gives you permission, if nothing else, to pause for a little bit. Okay? All right, so let me go back and find Pragya's question. I don't know how I missed it, but I don't know if you typed it in early or, there you go. Okay, so here's Pragya. All right, so Pragya is still worried about this connection with Manish. Oh, this feels so right pulling out this deck today. And I think I'm going to just carry on if that's okay with you guys. If there's anybody who wants a particular deck, I have probably about 20, 25 of them beside me here. So you can make a request if I have it. So I'm going to pull a reflection card for, hello, Jen. Not sure when you appeared. And My Voice Tarot, I don't know if I said hello to you either. And Akasha Love. Welcome to Akasha Love. Okay, so this is for Pragya. And I'm just going to pull a reflection card for Pragya that might help get clarity about the relationship with Manish. And then we will get to her yes or no question. Wow, look at this. I love these cards. This looks like Pisces, doesn't it? The two fish intertwined. Well, you know, this looks like a positive answer to me. But also, you know, when we reflect on duality, which is the key word, is that, and I want to stay really specific to your question. So there's a reason that you are apart. There's a reason that you're not together at this time. And so though your energies don't appear to be in the same place geographically together, there's definitely a connection between the two of you. And so why are you apart? Why are you not together? So let's go specifically to your question. Will you hear from Manish before the end of this month? Will Pragya hear from Manish before the end of this month? Will Pragya hear from Manish at the end of this month, before the end of this month? You know, this looks to me like you are alone. This to me looks like a no. This to me looks like a no. This is so interesting. This is the Knight of Wands. So, you know, it looks like no for November. But it almost looks to me like regret, because when I pulled this, I pulled a third card. And when I see this Knight of Wands here, it's like, maybe you're not going to hear from him now, but he's going to come charging in a little bit later. And I really feel this need of, there's a reason that you need to be apart at this time. Spirit moves in such weird ways sometimes, you know, even though you feel this longing that you need to be with him and you need to connect with him, sometimes we have to trust, and we have to be in a place of trust. And so this to me feels like no, it's a no answer pretty clearly. But this would give me a little bit of hope for the future. I don't know if anybody else is picking up on anything here. You want to know when you will hear. Okay. All right. Okay, so Pragya is looking for the answer to when. When will you hear? When will Pragya hear from Manish? I'm shuffling the Wildwood, and I'm just going to see if I can get a season or a date that will help to bring clarity. Well, that's a positive sign. Ostara, Easter. So that's the equinox, the spring equinox. So let me know if that makes any sense to you. Yeah, I pulled the Archer. So write that down and let me know what that thinks. Jonathan had a comment. I'm feeling like winter will be a time to go towards and spring will bring him back. Isn't that interesting, Jonathan? Cool, right? So that's kind of a confirmation of what Jonathan says. So March 21st, spring. You can look forward to some connection with him then. All right, and then I missed somebody else. There was two people before. So I'm just going to go back to Jonathan's instructions. I like it when you guys keep track of me here. Luna Moon is next, and then Blue Nile. Okay. So here we go, Luna Moon. What will my person, initial U, do next in regard? Okay, so what is U's next action? All right, so We definitely don't want a reflection card. We want an action card. Okay. Kind of feeling though that like these reflections are pretty powerful, aren't they? Like I want to stay with this. I feel like this is a good pattern for today. So I'm going to pull a reflection and then we'll build in the answer to your question around the reflection. All right, so Luna, Moon, and you. Luna, Moon, and you. Oh, I love this symbol. Love this symbol. And the thing about, so I'm looking at the circle here. The circle is broken. There's a lot of brambles around the edge. The key word is infertility. So what that means is something doesn't have the energy it needs to grow, right? Something doesn't have the prana. Something doesn't have the energy it needs to grow. So I would take that message as contemplation for you in regards to the relationship. What is it that would benefit the relationship? What does the relationship need so it can bloom, so that it can blossom? I said at the very beginning, sometimes you ask a question, but then there's something more that Spirit wants you to know. I go to riffle shuffle these cards and I can't riffle shuffle them. This deck doesn't riffle shuffle. I love it because it's little, but I have to divide it into two pieces to do that. Only people who like to shuffle like me know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's your reflection. Ooh, this is not a bad card. Oh, but why are they behind the curtain? What are they hiding behind the curtain? I'm looking at the Two of Cups. So why is there a sense of not showing the relationship? Is there somebody in your lives that he hasn't revealed the relationship to? Okay, so the relationship is in a place of flux. Things are definitely going to be moving. I think that's a really good question, right? Have you kept the relationship secret in some way? I'm just wondering, there's something about that cloth there that's got me thinking. He doesn't want to rush, that's for sure. There's a sense of taking time, maybe. But you know, to have that Knight of Pentacles there means he's in for the long haul. He's not going anywhere, but he's definitely not a super dynamic person. And so any of these shifts that are happening won't be happening quickly. But the relationship, you know, this feels very much like a progress card. Like the relationship is moving forward, just perhaps not as fast as you would like it to. You know, like if you want to see action, doesn't feel like he's a man of action. And perhaps that's why this card of infertility showed up. It's like you could be the source of injecting something into the relationship that will, you know, light a spark for perhaps something new that you do together, or a different thing that you talk about, or a different way that you connect, and so forth. Okay, so I hope that gives you some food for thought. Yeah. All right. If Jonathan or Jen, you could repost the list, that would be great. I'm scrolling quite far back to see the list. Okay, so next is Blue Nile and then Anna. All right. That's not your question. Let me find Blue Nile's question if there is one. I don't know if Blue Nile has a question. Might have to get one of you to repost Blue Nile's question. And then after Blue Nile was Anna. And oh, that's lovely to have. I'm sorry. Essence. The lovely meme is here. Okay. That's a really nice reflection. Do you mean like they're going around and around and repeating the same things, that they're not learning their lessons? And so because they're not learning their lessons, the relationship isn't moving forward? And hence this Knight of Pentacles here. That's why it seems to be moving so slowly. That's a really, really good reflection. Thank you for sharing that. I'm still waiting for Blue Nile's question, and I need to find Anna's question. Okay. So here's Blue Nile's question. What is the best way forward for me to manifest moving abroad? Whew. Okay. That's a big question. Big question. But no questions are too big. Hello, Dion. I don't know if any of you have read Akasha Love's comment, who is one of my daughters. She says, taking notes of other people's readings and feeling inspired. And one of the things I've said before is when I'm doing these lives is that there's a reason. So right now there's 22 of you watching. So there's a reason that the 22 of you are here today. There's a reason why you're listening to other people's messages. And that within other people's messages, there's very likely a message or messages for you. All right, so what is Blue Nile's reflection card? Way to move forward to manifest moving abroad. The cards are cutting so, oh my goodness. Okay, so we had this card already today. That should say something. So where I want to go with that is that you feeling strong enough to travel, strong enough to move abroad. So if there's a sense of vulnerability, if there's a sense of any kind of inner, not weakness, but things that haven't been healed. Maybe that's what's preventing you from realizing this dream. And so spirit is keeping you close to home until that is healed. And if you didn't see the first reading, go back and review the first reading, because this card came up in the group reading as well. Okay. Hey, Keita. My Voice Tarot says that she tries to watch every week for 2 reasons: learning how others interpret cards, and also because there's always something, for you and others' messages. Really important. Okay, I need to focus on the person at hand. Okay, so manifesting, moving forward. Ooh, okay, so we got more darkness. It's very kind of, nighttime reflection card here. You know what I was talking about this morning and reading sacred texts and so forth. Look at this King of Swords here. Sorry, it's King of Cups. And this King of Cups is perhaps reading a sacred text, perhaps reading poetry, but there's a real sense of stillness and quiet. And I imagine, because of the suit that this is, what is being read is profoundly touching his heart and allowing him to feel emotion and move through the emotion that's necessary to heal this fear. So in answer to your question, how can you manifest moving forward? You can manifest moving forward by making sure that you have been doing your healing work. Well, that's a lovely card to have. So that is, it feels like it's not unattainable by any means. And so to draw that card feels exactly that, hopeful. It's like, can you feel like the big exhale breath here when you look at her face? You say, I just feel like I don't belong where I am. I'm not happy at all here with the lifestyle I'm having to live. I've turned inwards once more and decided to retreat as a result. So again, we have somebody with closed eyes. So even though this card is not in the darkness, there's still this internal reflection here. And so let's just do one more. Okay, so that's kind of nice, right? So these are very internal cards. This is an external card. This is the Ace of Swords. And so it feels like you're close. This feels like the truth that's being revealed. So she's moving forward. The others, the first 3 cards are very inward cards. So once your truth is revealed, it feels like you're on the brink of this aha moment. And you need to sit in the emotions, to sit and be in the emotions and to let them arise. Are you one of those people that just when it starts to get really, like your throat gets to get really blocked up, it's like, oh, I got to go make a cup of tea. So you need to sit in the pain, to sit in the most challenging, awkward feelings, and then that will come through. And I feel like this is something that you already, you know this. This is not news to you. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with that for today. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay. Jonathan, thanks. I really appreciate it if you can find the question. So next is Anna Torres. Anna Torres. I have no idea where Anna's question is either. I would really help. Hello, Honey. I haven't seen Hanny or Honey before. Of course, you can ask a question. So I'm just waiting for somebody to find. Here we go. All right. So Anna's question is, I would like to better understand my connection with my ex Pedro. Both he and I are energetically trapped in each other after 7 months of separation and non-communication. Okay. So I guess the big question is, you know, why are you not willing to release your why are you not willing to sometimes words are tricky. Why are you not willing to release this relationship back to the universe and to say this relationship has run its course? So maybe the cards will let us know why you're holding on. If holding on is in your highest interest. And believe me, I know sometimes it's just near impossible to let go of relationships. All right, so this is about Anna and her relatively long time ex Pedro. So help us find clarity in understanding this relationship, the nature of this relationship. I don't know. I don't know what Celia's intention is for this card. I find it so interesting how so many artists, the head of the horse is bowed. It's bowed in humility. It's almost bowed in reverence to the sun. I'm going to draw the tarot cards, and then I might actually look it up if I have I do have the little book here. Just to see if she's expanded on that keyword. Anna, what do you feel when you see that card? What does that artwork evoke in you? I definitely feel the connection. So in this Ace of Pentacles, there is a figure who has dug a hole, and it's like they found their buried treasure. You know what this is reminding me of? The horse has his eyes. That's so beautiful. This reminds me, in my medicine wheel reading, it reminds me of, when we are in a lot of pain and struggling with a particular relationship, the message, I wish I had the, do I have an archetype deck here? I do have Divine Muses. I might pull an archetype. Sorry. This is about you. So the reason you're not able to let go of the relationship is because you haven't discovered or truly found the gold, the message, the gem in the relationship. So if you were able, I'm going to leave those there because I'm going to draw a couple more tarot cards. If you were able to find the gold, to say the gold, like the beauty of the relationship, if you were to put the beauty of the relationship into one little package and say, this is why we were together. This was the beauty of the relationship. This was the gold of the relationship. And then you hold on to that. You hold on to that nugget and you let the relationship go. So in this particular direction in the West, the medicine is to experience death. It's to be okay with death and to be okay with the death of the relationship. Oh, Joseph, thank you. Okay. Just really, really curious about this. Oh my goodness, so many. So we've got the alpha and the omega here, and I'm seeing this circle of the sun, this circle of the Ouroboros. Feels like we've had a lot of circles today here. Why justice? Okay, so why justice is that there are some karmic truths to this relationship. So yes, this relationship with Pedro is significant. It really is significant. So where the only way for you to release, and I know you didn't ask me about releasing the relationship, but the only way for you to move on is to understand what that relationship was about, what that karmic pattern was. He came into your life. You came into his life to resolve something, and now that is done. And so you take that lesson, you hold it in gratitude, you cherish it, and then you move forward. I'm just waiting to see. So I know these are all, hello, Effie. So yeah, so just think about this. Maybe kind of write this down. And so what I'm seeing here, so this is called totality, this card. So the relationship is complete. The relationship was all that it was meant to be. And so it's finished. It's over. And so now your work is, what I said. I don't need to repeat myself again. So thank you. Thank you for putting yourself out there. And just out of curiosity, I want to check in on the horse card and see if there's any other insight in this little tiny, it's a very tiny little booklet. Horse is number 24. Wow, it's kind of a hard message. And I don't really, see that. The only connection I see, she says arrogance, pride, insolence, vanity, and reduced vision. The only vanity that I see here is the willingness to acknowledge the completion of the relationship. And so I think that teaching, that method that I shared with you is a really beautiful way to step forward. Malory. And I want to acknowledge Scarlet. I know Scarlet has been in pain for a long, long time. I hope you've had an opportunity to start some counseling. And I will pull some cards for you, but I need to get back to the list. And I'm going to go back. I think it was Neem's turn, but I'm not sure. Can you let me know? I believe it was Neem next. So, Scarlet, I will get to you. I just want to sort of catch up to the previous. So, mods, can you let me know where I am? I think it was Neem next. Yeah. So it's Essence, Honey, and then Scarlet. Great. So I don't have Neem's question. Oh, sorry. Essence O is not Neem. Oh my God, that's so funny. That's a different Essence. My bad. So can I get Essence O's question? That's what I'm waiting for. Why does my aunt continuously refer to me as old? Does she have an issue with me? That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Okay. I've never had a question like that before. All right, Essence O. Getting my essences mixed up. Forgive me. There's another card slinger who's off and on. And I think it's Essence 919. I think that's her name. All right, so why does Essence's grandmother continually refer to her as old? Oh, because she feels old. Because she feels old. So she is probably projecting, I'm guessing. I'm guessing she's projecting. Okay, so you have another animal card here. So this is the camel. I really need to go with my own intuition. Perhaps reflecting on the medicine of the camel's ability to withstand long, long journeys. I love how these cards are separating. Well, I definitely feel a strong sense of projection. Susie says there's an old English saying that when someone's got the hump, it means they're upset with you. You know what this feels like? I'm looking here at this. I've never actually paid attention to the spectators in this card. Like, look at the spectators in this card and then look at this card that's come up. It reminds me of that energy of someone who, you know, is just a busybody. They're so worried about, they're so worried, instead of focusing on themselves, all they focus on is other people because they don't want to look within. So I would say there's nothing wrong with you. Your grandmother is just unwilling to look at her own stuff, and she's probably feeling very old herself. So perhaps what you could do as a gesture of kindness, and I'm going to bring the Hierophant into this as well too. What you could do as a gesture of kindness was to make her not feel old. And then in reciprocation, you know, you don't need to tell her why you're doing that, but that might help, you know, to help to make her feel youthful, whatever that is. Like, use your creativity. You know her best. So what is the Hierophant doing there? The Hierophant is there because you need to be the mentor. You need to be the role model. You need to be the leader, the teacher. And so you show her how to move through this by helping her to feel young. Or perhaps you hold that card up and ask her if she feels old, right? It's about you. I think that Hierophant is there, you as the teacher. So that's also going to require some courage for you to do that. So this is a really interesting mix of cards. I'm very, very drawn to these spectators and to this. So you too would also benefit from understanding the hurt that this causes, and just to double check if there is any aspect of your life where you tend to feel more like a spectator than a participant. This is not an easy message to digest by any means, and so this is endurance, adaptation to the environment of life, which is kind of what I said. You're welcome. You're welcome, Essence O. All right. Yeah, Jonathan kind of agrees with what I said. She's so projecting on to you. All right. All right, team, where are we at? That's so funny. I think there was one person before Honey. I think somebody, and then Scarlet. Okay. So it is Honey. Okay. Honey. I'm assuming it's Honey. I want to know what my spirit guides want to tell me. What my spirit guides want to tell me. Okay. Can you hear the rain? I don't know how good my mic is. It's just pouring outside the window, which is right there. I just want to respond to what Paper Moon said. So age doesn't matter. Age is a perception. I think that's a good way to look at it. Age is a matter of perspective. It's like one of those rains, you know, where the skies just open up and boom. All right, so we are going to, this was for Hani. This is not a light deck by any means. You know, it's a little bit like a tarot card. I wish I had, there's a book that I've been reading. It's down the hall. I'm not going to go get it. And I'm going to try to summarize this. And I know I've shared this before in a different way. And that is, we can withstand anything if we are strong enough. And that doesn't mean being tough in a protective way, like having an armor. It means, what I'm talking about is more of a spiritual strength. And that has to do with our nerve, like strengthening our nervous system. Strengthening our nervous system through through a healthy lifestyle, through getting outside, through attention to breath, any kind of meditative practices, and there's a bunch. And so that when the lightning strikes, the lightning is able to move through us, and we become a vessel rather than a victim. We become a vessel for the energy. And I just highlighted that section again. I just highlighted it. Like I've some books I don't like to mark in because they feel so special. But today I actually underlined that reminder because it's so important. So important. Okay. Oh, wow. This card came up in the class the other day in the Read With Me course. I like this. I like this card. You know, this is about the perception of this. Very much so. We've got rain, a lot of rain in this card. Okay, we've got a bit of a story to weave here, it looks like. Spirit's not going to make this one easy for me. Okay. So one message is to ask for help. That's definitely abundantly clear here. And in order to, in order to find, so as you cross over on this bridge, in order to find what you're looking for on the other side, it might be necessary, not might, it is necessary to reach out. And that whole idea about reaching out and asking for help, sometimes we can feel very, there can be shame in that. We don't like to ask for help. And sometimes we say to people, oh no, that's okay. That's okay. I don't need that. It's okay. I got this. I can do this. And I think what Spirit wants you to know is that it's okay to ask for help. And if you ask for help, then this will be realized. And I feel like this whole process that you're going through right now is quite transformative. And so there's a need for not only bravery, playfulness, that it's like when I see this card here, I just really think that like that youthful sense of energy that keeps you going. And that young child would not be afraid to ask for help. Like, you know, to tie my shoes, to feed me, to look after me. And so as you move through this time in your life, you know, have your hands open, have your heart open, heart and hands open. And I like the direction that this is all moving. Okay, so Fairy Wren, hello to you. All right, so now we're going to go to Scarlet. So, Scarlet. Scarlet, it's really, really important that you find a counselor that you connect with, and that you see the counselor on a regular basis. This feels so big, and you need support, right? You need professional support to help you move through this. And so in whatever way you do that, I feel also the, what do you call them? Naturopath, right? So that you're having the kind of herbs that you need to help you move through all of this. So reaching out and asking for, maybe part of that last message was for you too, right? Asking for help and being open to receiving help. And perhaps it's the asking where what's not happening is the asking. So I just want to put that out there. Okay. The next thing I want to say is that sometimes Spirit can be very, very, very tough on us. Or it can seem that way. And by the number of times you've shared your heart, you've shared your story about this relationship, this feels, you know, like you were not expecting it. And Spirit knew better than you. And Spirit got you out of this. And there's a reason that you're not in that relationship. And it's good that you're not in that relationship. And because it was so sudden and so drastic and it hurts so much, underneath everything, please, 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 please find some comfort in knowing that eventually you will feel better, and eventually you'll go, oh my God, thank you. Thank you for getting me out of this. And so now, where are you going to put down roots? How are you going to find your strength? How are you going to find your anchor? How are you going to find your connection? And so that is a huge part of wellness. And sometimes that can be as simple as, okay, today I'm actually going to get out of bed and I'm going to scrunch up my toes on the carpet and I'm going to feel the earth, and I'm going to go outside in the rain and I'm going to put my hands on the wet soil, and I'm going to literally get grounded. Or I'm going to lie down on the earth and let the rain on me. because that grounding is that essence of all healing and all wellness. Without it, whatever you're going through, like if you are going through some kind of physical disease, mental health issue, relationship breakup, anything, the foundation of wellness is to get anchored. And so this is just a reminder for you today to find your anchor. And your anchor is not in the guy in prison. That's not your anchor. And your inner strength, you will find it. It's just going to take some time. And we're here for you. We're here to support you and hold you. We're here. We got you. And so if you can, just take a little bit from that. I have a lot of repeating cards today. All right, so let's kind of weave a story here for Scarlet. So that first message is really important, and I think that the message from the anchor card is imperative. It's crucial. It's crucial to your survival. Yeah. And so what Jonathan said was that groundedness is part of the root chakra work, and your like the sense of panic in your voice, and that sense of panic quite literally in your voice is one of not feeling connection. And that may not have been modeled in your family as a child growing up either. And so now it's about finding that safety and to find an affirmation that works for you, like I am safe, I belong, I'm supposed to be here. And there's lots of beautiful websites, and you can just Google affirmations for root chakra, affirmations for groundedness. And just to make that your practice of repeating that over and over. That Two of Pentacles indicates that, that's exactly how you're feeling. Like life is up, it's down, it's up, it's down. You're juggling. You feel like you could fall over at any particular moment. I would like that King of Wands is there. A little bit of fire is not a bad thing because, and this is not a little bit of fire, this is a lot of fire. We need that internal fire to help move through these really challenging times. And so perhaps this is your strength card. And maybe that King of Wands is reflected in an external person as well too, that you can lean on and start to trust and give you that energy that you need. And maybe your King of Wands is the guy that gets you going out for a run. Maybe your King of Wands is somebody who, I don't know, challenges you to do something you wouldn't normally do and get you out of your comfort zone. Like the King of Wands can be quite a fiery person. It might not be a guy, it might be a girlfriend who challenges you to do something. So this is very much a card of action. This is telling you to get out of bed, to go out and do it. And almost, I feel in your situation, just a reminder that, sometimes we do have to fake it until we make it. And that becomes, that's like rewriting a new pattern. We try the new thing and it's not comfortable at all, but we keep trying it. We keep trying it. We keep trying it. We keep trying it until it finally fits and it finally feels better. You know, and this is a card of moving on. So, all right, we're here for you, Scarlet. I think, Scarlet, the big message is that you were not meant to be. And now the hard part is to realize that, to accept that, and to understand that. You're welcome. You're welcome. So next is Adriana, and we're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. Okay, so we have Adriana, Keita, and Sophie. So I'm going to do Adriana, Keita, and Sophie, and those will be the last 3 readings for today. Okay. Adriana's question is, I am curious about my shamanic path and helping others. Should I go back to school or study independently? Okay. Why change things now? We've been going deep all day. We may as well do that. Okay. You know, on a very personal level, I would say if you can get to work directly with a shaman, like to go to Peru, to go to somewhere, if there's an indigenous culture wherever you live, to connect with the real medicine people. I'm not sure what school means to you, but that's me projecting. There's nothing like connection with a real medicine person. The key word on this card is mutual aid. There's people reaching for help in both directions. I mean, mutual aid. You know, and something that I'm thinking of too is sometimes we don't, what's that expression? You know, like when you help somebody else, you help yourself. And sometimes we don't realize how much we help ourselves in helping others. And so maybe this is something really close to home right now for you. Maybe you've been trying some shamanic practices, or maybe there's another healing aspect of your life that's going on. And this is a message of really understanding how beautiful this gift is. Help me, help you, help me. Help me, help you, help me. And that's why, right? That's ultimately why we do this work, is to help ourselves. So I'm a little perplexed by your question, but I'm going to deal with your question. Go back to school or study independently? Love this Temperance card. Love this Temperance card. Oh. This definitely feels, don't you think this feels like independent study? Like the King of Wands would never stay in one place too long. The King of Wands would go off on the next adventure. You might not want to see a Tower card in conjunction with this question. But one of the things is when we take on this work, part of the healing process is allowing that everything that we've been storing within ourselves to come forth. And so sometimes, like, I see that tower as whatever is close to the surface in your subconscious, whatever is ready to release, whatever karmic patterns, whatever lessons, whatever challenges that you may or may not be currently aware of, but they're definitely near the surface, are like gonna come forth. And like this is the step before the healing. This is the step before the cleansing. And I think this is a beautiful journey. I feel this is a really beautiful journey that you're on, and this is going to help you in ways much, much bigger than you can possibly imagine. It's a pretty potent message. I like what Jonathan said there. Oops, wrong screen. Got two screens open here. Jonathan says, this is telling me that Adriana will have many teachers and many breakthroughs to learn from. These two cards here do not feel static to me. That's why I'm saying not as school, but independent study feels very clear to me. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for your question. All right. And there's two more readings for today. Oh, good. I'm glad it's, well, you know, and I want to say sometimes it resonates with you and sometimes it doesn't. So here's an example. So I had a reading this morning with Jonathan, or I was lurking in the background of Jonathan's readings this morning. Let's say that. And Jonathan did a spontaneous reading for me, and he pulled 3 cards, and he did a quick interpretation of what he was picking up in those 3 cards. And Betsy Palmer, medium, also picked up on something. And I knew right away what those 3 cards were saying. Mind you, I do readings all the time, but sometimes what we need to do is so I'm showing you the cards here. If you make a little note of it and you come back to it in a week or you come back to it in a month, you may start to understand more of what it means, because my language, my words might not hit the nail on the head, but in the essence of the reading, the message is there and you will be able to find it. You will. Alrighty. Kita. Okay. All right, so is Keita's business opportunity a good option? Okay, so you're feeling at a crossroads. So what is the energy around Keita's business? Please help us to find clarity. Or Inar. Maybe not the animal that you want to appear for this. I can go 2 ways with the fox. One is that you're being deceived and there may be something that you're not aware of. That's definitely one way to go with this. But I'm just going to see what happens with the tarot cards, and then I'll know which direction to go. But you can also look more to the details of the card. Perhaps the fox is your totem. There's definitely lunar energy there. That's not a bad jumper card. The other thing about the fox, I have to go to like my experience with the kitsune, which is fox in Japanese. Okay, so this looks very strong. I need to read your question again. It feels like a mixed message. It feels like a mixed message. One is that you have the resourcefulness, you have the power, you have the skills, you have the leadership abilities to get this business off the ground. But I understand why you feel at a crossroads. There may very well be something going on in the background that you are not aware of. And so I would make sure, if your intuition is lighting up about a particular partner or a particular person, you know, that might be the other way. Dion has a good point too, in that the fox is very, very clever. And just the way I laid these cards down, you know, so to look at the fox as a strategist. So if the fox is the strategist, this is it's a beautiful, beautiful set of cards. So that's important. There is a lot of medicine. There's a lot of different teachings associated with the fox, and only you will know kind of which way that needs to go. But I want to thanks Dion for bringing that up. And then we have there's kind of a party going on here, and there's 3 people participating in the party, and one person is not participating in the party. So somebody's kind of feeling a little bit removed, and they're stepping back. They don't really want to engage. And so why don't they want to engage? Right? Are you tired? Are you emotionally spent? And so to really reflect on that question of why you don't want to engage, and perhaps, you know, it could very well be that you're trying to get others to engage, but they're not engaging. And so to go a little deeper with this and to reflect on why they're not engaging or why you're not engaging, and to do what you need to do so that you can engage again, because these cards would suggest that your engagement is part of it, your engagement is necessary to the success of the business. So you need to be in the front line, and you need to be participating and healthy and well and actively taking charge of this. So in answer to your question, in summary, I would say, yes, it is a good choice. If there's any other thoughts from other people in the chat, let me know. Okay, good. Alrighty, and so there is one more reading for today. And I want to thank Jonathan immensely for helping me out and keeping me sorted and straight. If you have any questions for me about any of the courses that I'm teaching, things that are coming up in the new year, if you have any requests for dates or times, or there's a particular session that I'm teaching that just doesn't work for you because of where you live in the world, let me know. Let me know. Last reading is Sophie. Okay. I'm smiling. I'm looking at this tablecloth in the camera and it looks so like pinky, and it's actually a very dark, dark purple. Color. Hey, Sunny. One more reading, Sunny, and then I'm done for today. Thanks for popping in. And if there's anybody else that I didn't say hello to, I want to say hello because I know there's 22 of you still here. Okay, so this is for Sophie. Sophie is feeling lost right now and doesn't know if she is on the right path career-wise. Okay, let us find some clarity for Sophie. Ooh, attention to detail. This is the bonsai card. I just want to have a look at it before I put it down in the camera. Well, I guess I can do that too. Yeah, and I know that sorry, her name, what's her name? The creator of this deck, Celia. Okay, so I'm going to put it down. So her intention with this card has to do with the lack of freedom here, the restriction. You also see there's chains over here. And so this little bonsai tree is controlled. And so I'm wondering if you are feeling controlled, confined, restricted in some way. The first thing that I thought of too also was the attention to detail. So in the art of bonsai, it's almost like a meditation in looking after these little tiny trees. And we have to be really, really careful about how they're clipped and how they're watered and how they're nourished so they can grow over a long period of time. Right? So both of those things could resonate at the same time. It might not be one or the other. It might be both in some magical way. Susie asks, can I ask the name of this deck? You can. I like to call it it's a very, let me just take off this so you can see. Oh, actually I can put it right here. There you go. The website is, sorry, Amber's shaking. The website is celiamelsville.com. Let's see if I can find the bottom of the box. She is the creator of this deck that I use all the time, the Lily White and the Lily Black. She's in France. All right, so let's get back to this question of, is it about control or is it about discipline? Isn't that interesting? It's like, those are like two opposites. Is it about control or is it about discipline? What's up, Amber? Where are you? Come. Come. Come here. Come. Come on. Come on. It's okay. Hello. Hello. So I want to focus on the question again. I just need to pull up the question. You're welcome, Susie. I just need to find that question again. Okay, so the question is, should I move on? Yes, Amber is blessing your reading. Why don't we end with I'll do a 6 card. And this is one of my favorite spreads. I'm going to go to the, take my face off. And so this is a should she stay or should she go kind of scenario. Okay. And so the first set of cards is the energy around stay. Okay, so this is stay, this is go. So this is a new opportunity. This is the present opportunity. These cards are for clarification in the present opportunity, and these cards are for clarification in the new opportunity. Okay, so this is stay, Hermit, and this is go. So what I'm thinking is that in the future job, there may be a different sort of energy. So in your present job, there may be a lot of internal work, and in the moving in a new direction, it might really take you out into the kind of a career occupation where you're expected to entertain clients a lot and be with a lot of people, which you might find really exhausting. And then I'm also thinking, like, if you move to another country where the language isn't familiar, and sometimes, the culture or the language can be exhausting. But let's see if we can get. Ooh, we have another wizard here. Doesn't this look like a wizard? And this looks like a wizard. This looks like, the magic. I mean, it is the magician card. And then here we have, I almost feel like I'm wondering if you just need to take a break, take a sabbatical. Do you have an opportunity to back off and to take a sabbatical, to just give yourself a little bit of time off? Oh, you're welcome, Luna Moon. And hello to Sebo from Brazil. This also feels like maybe if you have been working on manifesting a new situation, that this will be the new opportunity. This will be the new contract. So make sure that you are in the right place at the right time to receive that message. And who knows how long that message will hang around, is what I'm saying. So this message might come in all kinds of forms. It may come from meeting somebody at the grocery store. It might come from, like, different people can come into your life, and messages can get delivered in all kinds of different ways. So be open to receiving messages. This feels like you've been trying to manifest something. And I would say that it's working. And like this whole picture feels like what does this feel like? It feels like in the present, there's some stuff that's going on behind the scenes. And I don't want you to be, so this is about, I like that these two guys are having a little chit chat here, right? They're facing each other, you know, trust in your inner wisdom, trust in your intuition, maybe take a little bit of time off by yourself. But yes, the message is coming. And so over here, what I'm seeing, what I want to say is the grass greener? Because I think that's what you're looking for, right? Is the grass greener on the other side? And that's what we're going to look at to see if the grass is greener on the other side. And, you know, this sometimes can be, I feel like there's a lot of overwhelmingness going on here. We have a 4 and a 4. So 4s do create stability. They do create a foundation, but they also do create restriction. Oh, you're welcome. Seeing Andrew's comment, you're very, very welcome. So while shifting gears might feel, what I'm saying here is that at home there is a new opportunity. There's something that's percolating. So don't be running away too quickly. And what I'm getting over here is that at first, sorry, I need to pause. My intention was to create 2 different scenarios here, 2 different situations. This is staying at home. This is another opportunity, perhaps going somewhere else. And it looks like something is happening at home. Something is beginning to grow and emerge at home. By shifting gears completely and going in another direction, it's not a bad picture at all. 2 4s indicate stability, indicates you will be successful. Oh, I know where I was going. I was going to say, like, at first, it feels amazing. At first, it feels like, yes, you have the sense of freedom. You have the sense of, you know, achievement. And finally, somebody's paying attention to me and somebody's actually looking at me and letting me do what I want to do. But there's something about these 2 4s that all of a sudden it feels like I feel this restriction again. And so I know your question was about the path and all of that. And how did it go? I want to pay attention to your words, because sometimes in your words, there can be clarity for me. So should you move on? And then let's go back to this, right? Because there's a message here. There's a message in this bonsai. Remember I said, is this about control or is this about discipline? And I think perhaps the discipline is in seeing something through here. I really feel strongly that something in your present job is happening behind the scenes. Does anybody else have something to offer here based on the way that I laid out the cards, and perhaps have a little bit of advice? Because I think this is a really interesting spread, Sophie, and it's a very it's kind of an opportunity to, the grass does look greener at first, but then it creates a bunch of restriction. And then here we have this restriction. You know, it's like you're stepping out of the frying pan and into the fire. That's kind of what it feels like to me. I don't know if you know that expression. Yeah, I like what you said there. You know, maybe wait it out. I'm just kind of waiting to see if there's anybody else who's got a a feeling on this. Effie says she currently has the tools necessary to focus. Yeah. All right. Well, if you didn't see the group reading at the beginning, I encourage you to go back and to check out the group reading because it was pretty potent this morning. And then, yeah, so let's connect. Let's connect because so many of you have these really deep and beautiful questions that you're asking, and one of the best ways is to to find that connection. I'm also thinking about starting a Facebook private group where we can dive into some of this inner work a little more privately, because it's what I love to do and what I love to teach. So I will be letting you know about that in the not too distant future. Jonathan does have one message here. I'm just going to read it. Staying at home will bring more control and being able to manifest her desires. Moving on will feel like a victory, but quickly sour. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I was trying to say. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for being here today. And those of you that didn't have your questions answered, I'll be back next Tuesday. And you can also reach out as well too for a personal reading, and all my contact information, all the course information is in the description box below. So until next time, stay well and be kind to one another. Namaste.